Well, I'm here with Luke and Sally Yelland. They've planted a church in Corinda in Queensland. What have you guys been up to?
A few things. So recently, you might have realised Brisbane's been through a bit of a flood. So we've been in the midst of that, and our house copped a little bit of water through it. So we've been dealing with some of those issues and rebuilding. And you can see the wall behind us. We've just had rebuilt in the last few days. So we've been doing some of that as we've been church planning and continuing to work in the church. So. Yeah, so one of the neighbourhoods that we're in is kind of general middle class Australia type situation. So normally if you would knock on a door, it would be met with a great deal of scepticism. But recently I guess the floods have opened up an opportunity just to be able to be in the community and helping out people. So one of the ways we've been doing that is grabbing some bread from one of the local bakeries, some of the excess bread, and we've just been delivering that around the neighbourhood in some of the flood affected areas, and that's been amazingly well received by people. It's just given us opportunity to be able to knock on doors, get to know people around the local neighbourhood, be talking, be finding out their needs, chatting about what's happening in their lives as they're working through the flood. And most of them are still in the rebuilding process, and so it's just been good to be there, present and serving them. And we've been able to get to know a number of people now that we perhaps otherwise wouldn't have got to know had the flood not happened.
Just with personally, I guess, living day to day in amongst trying to rebuild after the flood, and living amongst building renovations while we're living in the house and still doing everyday stuff, getting kids to school, all the other necessary jobs that go along with that. And I guess our walk with the Lord, that we would have strong relationships with the Lord, and in our marriage as well, to communicate well in a time poor time at the moment. So
Yeah. Probably thinking big picture for the church, a couple of things. One, this year we would love to be getting to a point where we're sustainable as a church, where we're meeting our own budget, where we've raised up our own leadership, and being in a position where we can be fending for ourselves on our own. So that would be one prayer point, that perhaps all willing this year we would get to that point. Another prayer point would just be openness for the gospel in the area, and some of these initiatives we've been taking in taking the bread out and other things, and just that the Lord would open people's hearts to the gospel in Corinda and in the surrounding suburbs as we seek to do that. That'd be great.
How's Geneva been supportive of the church plant today?
So we've really appreciated Geneva from the sense of when we came into our church plant. We were kind of 6 months in when some of the Geneva emails and things were getting started and being passed around the place. So from my perspective, it's been good to be able to hook into something that one can encourage me, can get around a number of other church planters. It's not something that I happen to be doing and no one else around I know is doing. So it's been good just to be able to connect with other church planters, which is encouraging. So even just the little get-togethers that are organised, the national conference, other gatherings that we've had throughout the year, just give that opportunity to refuel and recharge. You kind of get excited as you meet other planters. They tell you what they're doing, they're excited about things, you get to feed off that a little bit, you get to encourage and help one another. So just having that network there in existence and a few things to get together with those guys, I think is really helpful. I've also had a coach that's been helping me out a little bit, kind of Skype once a month, talk through church issues, life, what's happening. So that's been another helpful aspect. Another good thing was just the Geneva Refresh thing that Sal and I went to, so that was just a good opportunity to, one, hang out with a bunch of the other families, but also